The 10 Best NCIS Franchise Characters. Ranked since 2003. CBS has had a major hit on its hands with NCIS. Created by Donald P. Bellisario and Don McGill, the series originally served as a backdoor pilot on JAG. The series follows teams of special agents from the U.S. Naval Criminal Investigative Service as they investigate major crimes that involve members of the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps. Now the third longest-running scripted live-action American primetime series currently airing, the franchise has launched 6 spin-offs, with a 7th, NCIS New York, coming this fall. NCIS and the greater franchise have gone beyond a fan-favorite show. It's part of a television revolution. Between the flagship show and its spin-offs, the greater NCIS universe has remained prevalent because of the beloved characters. From those field agents on the front lines to the heroes in the lab, it's the characters that keep the show moving. With dozens of primary characters across the shows, determining the best of them all is a difficult task. But we're here to try. With only 10 possible spots, earning an entry took a plethora of criteria, including characterization, performance, story arcs, and legacy. And, to be fair, we try to spread them out and feature each franchise. Though every NCIS fan will likely have a very different list, these 10 represent a good spectrum of the show's iconic history. For a long while, female protagonists rarely fronted the action on NCIS. Then, NCIS Hawaii came along and the narrative changed. Leading the charge as the first female special agent in charge of NCIS Pearl Harbor, Vanessa LeKay plays Jane Tennant as she leads her specialized team, becoming a role model in the process. Tennant stands out as a strong, multidimensional leader, balancing high-stakes fieldwork with the grounded realities of being a single mother. Rather than just delegating from a desk, Tennant actively joins her team in the field and handles dangerous situations with grit. There is a soft side to her, treating her team like family, but that also means she holds them to high standards. With her past CIA experience, Tennant brings mystery, competence, and tactical skill to her decision, making right from the jump. Tennant transitions instantly from coaching her daughter's soccer game in a pink camo shirt to boarding a landed military helicopter right on the pitch to rush to a top-secret crash site. Whether recognizing red flags or using precise combat and sharp negotiation skills under extreme pressure, Tennant is always a highly engaging character. Appearing in all 3 seasons of the show's run, Lachi was able to bring the emotional complexities to her character. It's not so simple to raise 2 children while carrying a demanding national security workload. NCIS Hawaii allowed her to address personal flaws, past trauma, and moments of doubt, making her more relatable than a standard stoic action hero. As an Asian American lead, Tennant was proof of just how powerful and groundbreaking visibility is in the television action genre. Tennant is a woman who knows how to balance being a badass while showcasing courage and compassion, which is why she was a hero to many fans who watched her. Thus far, the first and only international spin-off is NCIS Sydney. The series follows the joint multinational task force combining US NCIS agents and Australian Federal Police, AFP officers. Set against the backdrop of Sydney, Australia, they investigate naval crimes and military-related cases across the Indo-Pacific. Though the story is co-led by NCIS Special Agent Michelle Mackey, Olivia Swan, and AFP Sergeant Jim J.D. Dempsey, Todd Lissance, the breakout character is the quirky, brilliant forensic scientist Bluebird Blue Gleason. Played by Mavernay Hazel, she originally worked with AFP before quickly transitioning into an official, valued member of the team. Highly neurotic and deeply earnest, she may be brilliant on the job, but the social filters are sometimes lacking. She stands out as the team's youngest, most anxious member, contrasting with rigid leaders like Mackey. As the show has evolved each season, it's allowed the character to grow as well, with her backstory emerging. Her life outside of work was initially kept mysterious, but later seasons dive deeper into her complex hidden past, involving dark secrets, an ex-felon's history, and cult survival, turning her into a deeply compelling puzzle rather than just an exposition machine. One of the most endearing elements of Blue is her surrogate family bond with Dr. Roy Penrose, William McKinney. Her eccentric and bubbly personality has resonated with fans as it sharply contrasts with standard procedural tones. Blue provides both technical expertise and distinct emotional depth to the spin-off. Instead of being a one-note geeky lab tech, her character shows real grit and resilience beyond comic relief. Even when she leaves the safety of her lab to go undercover alongside obsessive fans at a pop concert or investigate a crime scene at a tech launch, only to get trapped in a high-stakes, oxygen-deprived underground bunker with McKay and Constable Evie Cooper, Tuli Narkle, Blue shines beyond her basics. As the series continues, Blue will probably rise on this list. The very first spin-off of the flagship series came in 2009 with NCIS Los Angeles. The series followed the Office of Special Projects, OSP, an elite undercover division of the Naval Criminal Investigative Service based in Los Angeles. The team works to catch dangerous criminals who threaten national security. If the action centered on the likes of G. Callan, Chris O'Donnell, and Sam Hanna, LL Cool J, it was Henrietta Hedy Lang who served as the heart. Brought to life by Linda Hunt, Hedy is the quirky, brilliant operations manager who runs the office like a wise mentor. Brilliant and enigmatic, she is a former high-ranking Cold War spy and CIA operative. With a skill set that includes martial artist, pilot, linguist, and weapons master, and a penchant for bizarre hobbies and tea, Hedy subverts expectations. She combines a diminutive, maternal physical presence with the lethal skills, global influence, and deep-seated mystery of a legendary Cold War operative. Standing under 5 feet tall, she commands absolute respect and strikes fear into hardened criminals and young agents alike through sheer wit and quiet confidence. Hedy brings fierce, unflinching leadership as the emotional core and gravitational anchor of the show. Hedy treats her team like adopted children, showing profound care and serving as a steady anchor for the unit. And yet, her drive to accomplish the mission at any cost, including making harsh or secretive decisions for the greater good, often clashes with her protective side, creating internal moral conflict and fascinating complexity. Appearing through the first 12 seasons, with guest spots in seasons 13 and 14, Hunt was a beloved delight for the cast, remaining an alluring, intriguing character for fans. Whether Hedy with a shotgun, remotely popping up onto laptops, or delivering iconic quotes, Hedy will forever be ingrained in the franchise's DNA. Some characters made their mark once the series was established, proving they don't need a head start to become a legend. Such was the case for Ziva David. Joining during Season 3, she is a former Israeli Mossad officer who became an NCIS liaison officer and special agent, blending lethal assassin skills with profound emotional vulnerability. Her unique background as a Mossad operative, sharp wit, multi-layered growth from outsider to family, and iconic chemistry with Tony DiNozzo, Michael Weatherly, made her a fan favorite. Played by Cote de Pablo, she handles high-stakes combat and espionage with unmatched physical and mental resilience. But there's much more to Ziva. She delivers sharp comebacks and deadpan humor, often catching her teammates off guard. Her frequent, literal-minded mix-ups of American idioms and slang add charming, unintentional comedy to intense situations. She is fiercely loyal, crossing the line for her team. Beneath her stoic exterior lie deep emotional scars from losing her family, making her moments of warmth and trust hard-earned and powerful. Ziva burst on the scene with an unwavering cold focus. She remained on the series until Season 11, when she was presumed dead. Then, the Season 16 finale led to a jaw-dropping revelation that she was alive, and it reignited her story for Season 17. When an undercover assignment forced her and Tony to pose as passionate lovers, her story truly began. Ziva is incredibly good at what she does. A major reason why she became as beloved as she did is through the decade-long slow-burn romantic tension with Tony DiNozzo. They were ultimately given a one-season spin-off, NCIS Tony and Ziva. It follows the duo as they co-parent their daughter Tali, Isla Guy, in Paris after years apart. When Tony's private security firm is attacked, They are forced to go on the run across Europe to clear their names and find the real threat. Though the series showcased flashbacks of how their relationship fell through, pointing to how they come back together in the present while on the run, it wasn't enough to save the series. For the third show in the series, NCIS was dropped into the Big Easy. Debuting in 2014 and running for 7 seasons, NCIS New Orleans followed the special agent stationed out of Louisiana. Led by Dwayne Cassius Pride, the team focused on crimes involving personnel in the United States Navy and Marine Corps, and their territory ranged from the Mississippi River to the Texas Panhandle. Set in a vibrant city known for its music, culture, and nightlife, the team needed a native to do what is right. That was Pride. Affectionately known as King, Pride was played by Scott Bakula. Pride is a warm, resourceful leader deeply rooted in the community. He blends fierce law enforcement authority with deep empathy and a paternal leadership style that sets him apart from standard TV procedural heroes. Unlike more stoic agents, Pride balances tough choices justice with high emotional intelligence and approachability. Pride was the heart of New Orleans. Whenever Pride sat down at the piano in his bar or jammed with local musicians, it provided a soulful anchor unlike any the franchise had. There is a complexity to him that makes him a fascinating watch. With an unwavering code, Pride frequently pushes past bureaucratic boundaries to do what is morally right for victims and his team. Then, his complicated past with his criminal father, Cassius Pride, Stacy Keach, grounded his strong moral compass in real personal struggle. He chose New Orleans over his deep-rooted trauma. This also contributed to his innate and natural fatherly instincts, the best of any character in the entire NCIS universe. At the end of the day, he was an action hero. Pride's relentless pursuit of New Orleans' criminal underworld, the Baitfish Syndicate, showed his refusal to let fear run the city, culminating in high-tension standoffs. The Louisiana charm gave Pride a swagger that made him so beloved throughout the series' run. The icing on the cake was seeing a young Pride, played by Shea Buckner, cross paths with a young special agent Leroy Jethro Gibbs, Austin Stowell. It was a classic bar fight turned federal introduction. If there was anyone who epitomized Los Angeles cool, it was Marty Deeks. Joining full-time during Season 2, Deeks was an LAPD detective who served as a liaison and later a full investigator working with the specialized NCIS team. Known for his humor, quick wit, empathetic nature, and surfer dude demeanor, Deeks hid a sharp tactical mind. Deeks exudes a disarming golden retriever energy with deep emotional depth and fierce loyalty. Played by Eric Christian Olsen, he injected much-needed levity and heart into high-stakes situations. Beneath his joking exterior lies a deeply complex person with a dark, painful childhood. His struggle to overcome an abusive father made his goodness, empathy, and choice to protect others incredibly moving. Unlike invincible action heroes, Deeks openly shows fear, anxiety, and deep emotion, making him feel uniquely human. Olsen used expressive body language and facial reactions to project genuine warmth and heartfelt stakes, straddling two worlds as both an LAPD detective and an NCIS investigator gave him a unique, underdog perspective. Deeks leads with goodness, loyalty, and protection for his loved ones. His chemistry with Kenzie Bly, Daniela Rua, evolved from playful banter into a profound, enduring partnership. Fans rooted for the duo because Deeks showed steadfast, unconditional loyalty and devotion as a green flag partner. Deeks has had some fantastic TV moments, namely in the Season 3 premiere, dodging cars, eating gelato, and yelling, "I hate Romania," while single-handedly outsmarting bad guys, as well as fighting through severe injuries in his hospital bed to identify his attackers, showing his sheer grit and toughness. Whether infiltrating high-end spas or reacting with sheer panic to finding unexpected setups in a gated community, he's at his finest. Olsen proved that even in an action drama, love and humor are more than welcome. He is the levity NCIS Los Angeles thrived on. Pour one out for the OG doc, Dr. Donald Ducky Mallard. Ducky was the eccentric, wise, and beloved chief medical examiner for the Major Case Response Team on NCIS, played by the late David McCallum for 20 seasons. Ducky is famous for talking to the corpses on his autopsy table, sharing endless historical and medical trivia, and serving as a trusted confidant to Leroy Jethro Gibbs, Mark Harmon. The beloved autopsy whisperer treated his work with great respect, often analyzing the psychological background of the victim alongside the physical cause of death. With a pedigree of training that spanned from Eton, Edinburgh, and Cambridge, with a spot as a doctor in the British Army's Royal Medical Corps before joining NCIS, he was a valuable asset to the team. A gentle, calming friend, Ducky was the emotional heart and moral compass of the team. His long-winded, colorful stories from his past always had a connection to the present, linking them to the clues in front of them. But those educational and historical tangents are why we adored him. Just like his love for his restored vintage Morgan and his corgis added to his charm. There will never be anyone who can deliver dark, deadpan medical humor as smoothly as he did, especially during tense or high-pressure interrogations. Perhaps his most brilliant philosophical life observation that blended wisdom and forensic pragmatism was, all life is a near-death experience. Following McCallum's passing, the show honored him by allowing Ducky to pass away peacefully. A younger version of Ducky appeared on NCIS Origins, played by Adam Campbell. After shattering stereotypes, Abby Sciuto made science and math cool. From seasons 1 through 15, Abby was the forensic specialist for the Major Case Response Team at NCIS. Cheerful, highly compassionate, brilliant, and eccentric, Abby was the upbeat scientist known for her signature Gothic style, pigtails tattoos, and love for caffeinated drinks named Calf Pow. She was a master of ballistics, DNA, and digital forensics, and she did it with the greatest of ease. Played by Polly Perrette, Abby made science and math accessible while inspiring a generation of young women to pursue STEM fields. That's the power of television. Rather than being old or socially awkward like typical lab geeks before her, Abby was enthusiastic, friendly, and full of positivity. She was the Gibbs exception, as she had a uniquely playful, protective dynamic with him, being one of the rare people allowed to playfully talk back to him. Over her 15 seasons, we watched her overcome her fear of the autopsy room and survive an assassination attempt. Abby had incredible growth as a character. You simply cannot deny her impact on NCIS.